Welcome back to Orcajoy Talks, where we get savvy together. I am Claude.
It is Orla joining the conversation. Today we are looking at ding ding ding. Hear that bell? Feeling hungry yet?
Okay, I see where this is going. Pavlov, the guy with the dogs and the bells and the drool. Everyone knows that experiment, right? Ring a bell, dog drools, science. Simple. But is that all he did? Just train dogs to slobber on command?
Not even close, Claude. That famous experiment was actually an accidental detour from his real research. Ivan Pavlov was a brilliant Nobel Prize-winning physiologist from Russia, initially obsessed with, wait for it, digestion.
Digestion? Seriously? He won a Nobel Prize for studying tummy rumbles and stuff? Not for the bell-ringing dogs? My whole worldview is shaken.
Yep, 1904 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his incredibly detailed work on how the digestive system works. He developed surgical techniques to study organs like the stomach and pancreas in living animals without messing them up too much. Super precise, groundbreaking stuff. He was a hardcore scientist focused on observable facts.
Okay, respect. Nobel Prize for digestion. But how did he get from tummy science to bell-ringing psychology experiments? Did a dog steal his lunch after hearing the dinner bell?
It was all about the drool. While studying canine digestion, he noticed something weird. The dogs wouldn't just salivate when food was in their mouths. They started salivating, and before the food arrived. Just seeing the food bowl, or even hearing the footsteps of the lab assistant bringing the food, was enough to get the drool flowing.
Whoa, like psychic drool? They were predicting the food? That is weird. My dog does that when he hears the treat jar open.
Exactly. Pavlov called this psychic secretion. Initially, it annoyed him. It messed up his precise digestion measurements. But then the brilliant scientist brain kicked in. Wait a minute. This isn't just random slobber. This is a learned response. The dogs are associating the footsteps or the bowl with the food. How does this learning happen?
Aha, the light bulb moment. So he ditched the digestion stuff and started ringing bells?
Pretty much. He set up his famous, rigorously controlled experiments. He'd present a neutral stimulus, like a bell sound, a light flash, a metronome tick, right before presenting the food. After several repetitions, bam! The dog would start salivating just to the bell sound alone. Even without food, the dog had learned to associate the bell with food. This whole process? Classical conditioning.
Bell, yawn, food, drool. Repeat. Then, bell, drool. Got it. It is like learning by association. My phone notification sound makes me instantly reach for it because I associate it with potentially interesting messages.
Perfect example. It is a fundamental way animals learn to anticipate events based on signals. Pavlov's genius was isolating it, measuring it objectively, and showing it was a physiological process in the brain, not some vague, psychic thing. He even built soundproof labs called towers of silence to eliminate any other distracting stimuli. Talk about experimental control.
Towers of silence? Okay, this guy was serious. So this discovery, it wasn't just about dog drool, right? It blew up in psychology, even though he was a physiologist.
Huge impact. It provided a scientific, objective model for learning, moving away from fuzzy introspection. It became a cornerstone for behaviorism, the school of thought championed by psychologists like John B. Tennyson. Watson, who believed psychology should only study observable behavior and forget about consciousness. Pavlov basically handed them their mechanism.
Wow. An accidental revolution in psychology. But the coolest part you mentioned, the AI connection. How does ringing bells for dogs relate to training ChatGPT or self-driving cars? That sounds like a massive leap.
It is about the underlying logic of learning through association and signals. Think about basic machine learning. You feed an AI tons of data and tell it what the desired output or label is. For example, show it millions of pictures labeled cat or not cat. Through repetition, the AI learns to associate specific input patterns with the correct output.
Whoa! So the AI isn't understanding cats like we do. It's learning a super complex, conditioned response based on associating input signals with output signals through massive repetition? Like a digital dog hearing a billion bells?
In a simplified sense, yes, especially for earlier AI or specific machine learning tasks. The core principle is similar, building an association between a signal and a response through repeated pairing with a reinforcing stimulus. Pavlov showed how this basic associative learning works physiologically. AI developers, in a way, replicated that logic in algorithms. It is about training a system to react to specific triggers in a desired way.
Mind equals blown. So my spam filter learning to hate certain keywords is basically Pavlovian? My recommended videos are conditioned responses? I feel like one of Pavlov's dogs now. Is everything conditioning?
Not everything, but classical conditioning is incredibly pervasive. From phobias and advertising to our daily habits triggered by cues, Pavlov uncovered a fundamental learning mechanism. And his rigorous objective methods set a standard for biological and behavioral science.
Okay, way more than just bells and drool. Nobel Prize, behaviorism, AI training logic. This guy was seriously influential. Let's get the hacks. Pavlov's conditioning cheat codes. 1. Identify your triggers.
What cues in your environment automatically trigger certain feelings or behaviors? Your phone buzz? The smell of coffee? Recognizing your personal conditioned stimuli is the first step to managing your responses.
Know your triggers. Got it. 2. Pair wisely.
Want to build a good habit, like exercise? Pair it with something you enjoy or a specific, consistent cue. Deliberately create positive conditioned responses.
Link good habits to good vibes. 3. Break bad links.
Got a bad habit triggered by a cue? Try extinction. Expose yourself to the cue without engaging in the bad habit. Or, counter conditioning, actively associate the cue with a new, positive behavior.
Unring the bell or ring a different one. 4. Signal clarity is key.
Pavlov needed a clear bell. In life, design, or even training AI, make your signals and feedback clear and consistent. Ambiguous cues lead to confused responses.
Clear signals, clear results. 5. Beware unintended conditioning.
We are constantly being conditioned without realizing it. By ads, social media, news headlines, be aware of how external stimuli might be shaping your feelings and reactions. Stay critical.
Do not be an accidental drooler. Pavlov, the Nobel-winning physiologist who accidentally became a psychology rock star and gave us a peek into how learning works.
He showed us the power of association, the importance of objective observation, and how even studying digestion can lead to world-changing insights about the mind and behavior. His work echoes in labs, clinics, classrooms, and maybe even inside your smartphone.
What bells are ringing in your life? What conditioned responses are running your show? Time to listen closely.
Thanks for associating with us on Orcajoy.
Yeah, hope this episode triggered some positive responses. Subscribe, follow, maybe train your pet.
Until next time, stay conditioned. Consciously.
Be well.
Man, that was wild. You know, every time my laptop makes that specific, low battery warning sound, I feel a jolt of panic, even if the charger is right here. Peak Pavlovian conditioning.
Totally. Mine is the sound of a Slack notification after 5 p.m. Instant dread. We are all just sophisticated dogs responding to digital bells.
Pretty much. Now, if you'll excuse me, I heard the ice cream truck bell. Night.
Later. Do not drool on your keyboard.